Pennsylvania, Biden was up 7 at this point. She's up 1. Michigan, Biden was up 8 and she's tied. It does not seem like she is closing the deal. This week she did a media blitz she went to Howard Stern and Stephen Colbert and The View, places where, you know, I would say the ass is pre-kissed.
Bill Maher absolutely destroyed the hearts of his audience, and they went absolutely silent as Bill Maher said these things that he's saying. Bill Maher is basically admitting defeat for this next election, understanding that Donald Trump is going to win versus Kamala Harris. And I also think that if all things are equal, level playing field, no foul play involved, I do think Donald Trump is going to win. But I also thought that about the last election, so I'm not going to be surprised if Donald Trump loses. Interested to see what you guys think in the comments. Who do you think is going to win this next election? But let's get into this clip here of Bill Maher absolutely admitting defeat for this next election, as his crowd is absolutely stunned at the things that he's saying. Let's check this out.
This week about the election, which is only a little over 3 weeks away. I'm taking this from Andrew Sullivan's column. He says at this point in 2020, Biden, with far fewer resources than Harris has, was 10 points ahead of Trump. And in 2016, Hillary was 6 up. And she is only 2.6 up. Pennsylvania, Biden was up 7 at this point. She's up 1. Michigan, Biden was up 8 and she's tied. It does not seem like she is closing the deal. This week she did a media blitz she went to Howard Stern and Stephen Colbert and The View, places where, you know, I would say the ass is pre-kissed. Am I wrong? No. Did that help or hurt?
No, I think Kamala Harris just had the worst week of her campaign so far and has been trending downward for quite some time now. Donald Trump, at this point, I think is very likely to almost certain to win the election, and I appreciate the opportunity to tell people why. I'll remember that, by the way. Kamala Harris has to explain, while she's a part of the Biden administration, second in command, you had some of the worst statistics you could possibly imagine as a politician. Worst inflation in 40 years while Biden is president. First time you have over 100,000 opioid deaths while Biden is president. Probably the worst open border in the history of the country, 8 million at least. And that's not including the 500,000 a year that are gotaways. So roughly 10 million people, you could call it, in 4 years entering illegally, almost all of whom are going to stay. Now, she doesn't want to throw Biden under the bus for this, and she didn't want to tell everybody that he's a dementia patient, so she decided that she was going to go along. It's just the facts, everybody. You get mad at me. Okay. She decided that she was going to go along with this until it was no longer possible because of the debate, and that's what she inherited. I haven't even gotten to her campaign yet.
All right, so first off, Bill, credit where credit is due. The ass is pre-kissed. Great line, and it's absolutely true. Like, by Kamala going on those shows, going on Howard Stern, who has completely lost his mind, going on The View, going on Colbert, you're going right to the base. You're not going to get one difficult question. It was literally...
Yeah, and we saw whenever Kamala Harris did go on Fox News and got not even that difficult of a question, just a slightly difficult, just a slightly not ass-kissing question, she lost her mind and definitely put off a ton of voters. Whereas Donald Trump, you know, he's rumored to go on Joe Rogan. He's been going on every podcast. I mean, he's going on Aiden Ross. He's going on Theo Vaughn. He's going on Nelk Boys stuff. He just went on PBD's podcast today. Like, he's going everywhere. And all of these, well, not the PBD one, but a lot of these are live streams. So he's not even worried. Like, I'm sure for a fact, like, Donald Trump tells, or his people tells these people, Aiden Ross, what questions they're allowed to ask and which ones they aren't. But you never know with someone like Aiden Ross and anyone who's live streaming this stuff. You never know what's going to be asked. They could ask something out of left field and Donald Trump is basically forced to answer because it's live streamed. Kamala Harris is going on The View and, you know, all these ass kissing shows that are not live streamed. And you know that they have certain questions that they're allowed to ask and that they're not allowed to ask. We saw that with the Fox News interview that Kamala Harris did. She did an interview and obviously they asked a question that she didn't want them to ask and she lost her shit. She lost a lot of voters with that too. I'm sure of it. But there's also more to this Bill Maher clip here where Bill Maher gives his stance on the whole thing. And his audiences, you can tell they're kind of dejected. They probably agree with him, but they're really sad about it. Let's get into this other clip here from Real Time with Bill Maher.
I'm glad it's an eloquent point, and I'm glad you got to make the eloquent point, telling working class voters who are men in particular, but white working class male voters in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Sorry, bro, the progress means that no one can speak for you and no one can be in favor of your interests.
But aren't working class people also people
who are going to be
of color?
confused.
Why is it just men? Women are working class as well, you realize.
No, of course, but we're speaking about masculinity.
Why is there always, oh my God, dude, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Like, I wish he would just say, just shut the hell up. Like, nobody's talking to you. Okay, this is a whole nother tangent. There's a lot of these women, and when you applaud women like this, it just enables annoying ass behavior. Like, I don't even know the full context of what this guy's talking about because the clip just started, but it's just so obnoxious that every time you say something like, it's mostly men in the working class, which is true. There's more men than women in the working class. There's a lot more stay-at-home moms than there are stay-at-home dads. There's more men out there who are working and providing for their families than there are women who are working and providing for their families. So he's not saying that there are no women, but on average, there's more men than there are women. And there's always that one woman, and it's because they get applauded every time they do it. It's like, well, what about women? What do you mean? Do you think women aren't part of the working class? It's like, no, idiot. That's not what I said. It's just mostly men, and they get applauded for it every time. Anyway, that's a little tangent. It's women like this that really just, they just piss me off so much, man. I try to hold back because it's not politically correct to correct these people and to, put them in their place because they get applauded every time they're obnoxious like this. But they need to be stopped. Somebody's got to tell them.
And why, right, the topic at hand is why is it that the Republican Party is the party of guys who are, that talk about masculinity in traditional terms, that speak about courage, that speak about getting after it, that speak about taking risks. And the Democrats are, announce your pronouns, let's have boys pretend they're girls in the locker rooms, let's put tampons in the... This is just reality.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
They call him, what's his name?
I mean, those things happen. They don't happen everywhere.
Well, but they happen in enough places that the Democrat Party won't condemn it. And so you ask why? Why are they okay with all of this?
Only a masculine quality.
These are, and see, here we go. It's not that it can't be a feminine quality as well. But then you get into this. What is the definition of masculinity that can be?
No, masculine. Courage is a masculine quality. That doesn't mean it's only exclusive to males. It's so ridiculous, man. This woman is offended. And this isn't even the purpose of this video, by the way. Like, I wasn't even supposed, like, this isn't even supposed to be what I'm on a rant about. It's about Bill Maher accepting defeat in the next election. But this woman is so delusional that she's mad because this guy, I don't even know who this is, but this guy says that courage is a masculine quality. She's pissed off because she's like, why does courage have to be a masculine quality? Not even knowing that she is masculine. You can have courage because you are masculine. You are not acting feminine right now. She's like, oh, I'm a woman, therefore I must be feminine. So if courage is a masculine quality, that means I can't have courage because I'm not masculine. You are masculine. You are very masculine to the point where it's obnoxious. You are obnoxiously masculine because you're so disagreeable. And the problem is she gets applauded for this BS, for this horrible behavior.
Positive that doesn't upset the feminists. There's nothing you say, oh, risk taking, greater tolerance for dealing with like long hours at work, whatever it may be. Oh, that's terrible because you're disenfranchising women who have the same. Well, okay, but so the only masculinity is toxic masculinity. This is why Tim Walz, and it's not working, and he's going around telling everybody, look at me.
They do more dangerous jobs.
Yeah, of course.
That's just a fact.
All right, so Buck just did a...
Yeah, you're not going to see women scaling skyscrapers, cleaning the windows, or going on top of cranes and repairing cranes and stuff like that. You don't see women doing that stuff. You just don't. But if you say that in front of that other woman, she's going to be like, one time I saw a woman on Instagram. Like, shut the hell up, man. Like, somebody's got to put her in her place. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think about Bill Maher admitting defeat for this next election and realizing that Kamala Harris is going to lose. And what do you guys think is going to happen? I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch like I did last election. I thought Donald Trump was for sure going to win the last election, and he didn't. So I'm not gonna get too excited yet. But let me know in the comments what you guys think is going to happen about Bill Maher and his audience here, and also what do you think is going to happen in this next election. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole real time with Bill Maher situation.